It is September the 23rd. It is 11:15 a.m. in the morning on a Monday, and I am reaching out to you to share an experience I had. The first experience I've had in a very, very, very long time, actually. It's been a while. And I'm also going to share another experience that I had previous to that, and it was a failed experience. And I like to share these because I want to especially, this is especially for the folks that are struggling, maybe the folks that are younger that might be listening to me, the ones that get frustrated that they, close their eyes and they dream or something like that, or, I just had a lucid dream, it didn't happen, or I fell asleep. I want you to know that even someone who's been doing this for over 40 years has failed attempts. So I want you to know that. Hopefully this will be helpful. I share these experiences because I'm hoping that they will be helpful for those of you who are trying to get out there. So let me talk about my failed experience. And I want you to listen to specifically what I go through consistently, what my process is, because perhaps that will be helpful. So, as I've said before, I am never desperate when I make an attempt. I'm not. I go to bed with the thought in my mind of, it would be cool if I did this. That would be nice. It's very kind of casual. It's not like, oh my God, I got to get out there and do this. I got to shift, or I have to astral project. I got to do it. It's more like, if this happens today, then great. If it doesn't happen, then I can always try again. That is my attitude before I lay down. So on this thing that happened a few days ago, that was what my thought was. I was aware that I had not had an experience for a while. It had been, I think it's been a month or two. And one of the reasons I believe that was happening is because my body is currently healing from a surgery that I had in early July. And my focus has been that. But as my body has gotten better, things have started to happen. I've begun to dream like I used to dream, because before, the other part to this is I constantly dreamed if I wasn't having an experience. So either I was dreaming or I was having an experience, and my dreams are always very clear. I have a lot of clarity in my dreams. So that was starting to return. So as I have seen, one step at a time, these things have kind of returned to me. Okay? So when I laid down, that, a few days ago, shut my eyes, and I was laying there. For those of you who care, I didn't have any sounds on, nothing. I was just laying there without any, binaural beats or storm sounds or anything like that. And within about 15 or 20 minutes of lying there, I started to feel myself floating upwards. Now, this is not astral projection, at least the astral projection that I know of and that I feel. The reason why I say that it's not astral projection, or at least I didn't feel as if it was astral projection, is because I did not feel separation, and that's very specific. When I have a shifting experience, I don't feel separation. I feel as if my entire body is lifting off the bed and floating into the air. It's an extraordinary, extraordinary experience. I've become more accustomed to it as I've had these experiences, but that's one of the ways that I transition. I have other ways too. If you go back to my past videos, you will see that I have other ways of transitioning. So on this occasion, I'm floating upwards and I'm thinking to myself, okay, this usually means I'm going into the void. Now, my experience in the void is complete darkness and being weightless and then kind of turning. And it's like, well, what I would imagine it would feel like to be an astronaut in space walking around, except there's nothing tethering me to anything. I'm just turning slowly. And it is an amazing feeling. Now, as I began to turn slowly, I heard a voice somewhere. It was outside of my apartment. I think it was in the hallway. Someone was speaking. Now, it's not their fault. I mean, I was frustrated, but um, as soon as I heard the voice, it stopped, and I was like, oh, I was so frustrated because the feeling went away. It was like it was there, and it was like I lost it, and I stopped floating. I stopped having that feeling of floating upwards, and then I was I was surrounded by a barrier of some sort, and the barrier was composed of colors. Now, the colors weren't moving, they were just sitting there. And I could see around me. I don't know if it was 360 degrees, but I would imagine it was. But I could see these colors, and I was just like kind of admiring them because they were quite beautiful. And I was thinking to myself, I'm wondering if this barrier is to keep me from going further because for some reason I'm not supposed to right now. I trust those around me. I trust my guides. And I always feel as if that happens, if there is a barrier, and I've had barriers around me before, they're just protecting me and making sure I'm okay. So I checked out the barrier for a while. I'm sitting there and I'm conscious, right? I'm thinking to myself, I'm conscious and I can see this. And then I decide, okay, I'm going to open my eyes. I open my eyes and I'm back, of course, in the 3D world. I'm not out there. And I shut my eyes again and that barrier wasn't there. So that was the experience. And it was a failed experience because I heard that voice. And I think that when we are going into an experience or maybe getting ready to go into an experience, we're at least I'm very sensitive. I shouldn't say we. I'm very sensitive to every sound around me that's not there as I'm going into it. So like if I don't like the storm sounds and the rains and maybe sometimes music or whatever like that, if I have that in the background the whole time, that doesn't interfere with me going out there. But if I hear a sound that just kind of comes up out of nowhere, like somebody's talking or yelling, or I hear a sound outside, or I hear a car or something like that, that kind of ruins the experience. So let me get into the experience I had this morning. 9/23/24 September. And this was a full experience. Again, I laid down. I'm trying to think. I think I may have gone to the restroom. So I guess people call it that wake back to bed or something like that. I don't think of these things in terms of that. I've been able to do this for so long and it's happened so long. I don't put names on it. I've been doing this since the late 70s. So I don't think to myself, oh, it was this method or whatever like that. I don't think methods. I just know that if I get up in the middle of the night and I have to go to the restroom or something and I lay back down again, there's a pretty good chance that I'm going to leave or I'm going to have an experience. Now, I do believe this was like 5 something in the morning, actually. I was working on my projects and stuff, my fictional projects that I've been working on for Storyville. And so I think I was probably up all night working on it. And I went to bed around 5 something in the morning. And so I shut my eyes. And again, it was somewhere in the back of my mind. I was thinking to myself, oh, it'd be great if I have an experience. That'd be cool. But, I don't know if it's going to happen or not. I know that I had the failed attempt before. And maybe that's a good thing because that means that, this experience may go further than that, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully, maybe I can have this experience. That would be great. Looking forward to it. I shut my eyes, lying there, and again, let me tell you also, for those of you who care, I did have rain sounds on. They weren't storm sounds. I just had normal rain in the backdrop. Okay. So, normal rain in the backdrop. I shut my eyes, and within about 15 or 20 minutes, I felt myself beginning to roll to the left. Now, this is another way that I transition, and this is again shifting because I feel as if my entire body is rolling to the left. Not that I'm separated from my body. I'm moving away from my body and I'm rolling to the left, like my entire body is coming off my bed and rolling to the left. Now, when I was doing this, I was thinking to myself, oh, this is great. Okay, I'm finally going to make it out. I'm not hearing any other sounds. It's really early, and the only thing I'm hearing is that rain in the background. So when I make these transitions, it's always dark. And eventually, when I stop rolling, the darkness lifts. And I find myself in whatever reality I go to. My realities are random. I know that a lot of people talk about going to their DR or, whatever their DR is. They go to Marvel Universe, whatever. It really, honestly, that these things don't really interest me very much. I just like going to random places because it's fascinating. Now, when I opened my eyes, I was in a very large apartment with several different rooms. I would imagine it may have been a version of my apartment. I'm not 100% sure. But when I was looking around, what I did notice was, and this is going to sound strange because most of my experiences are strange. So for those of you who have been with me for a while, you'll know you're used to it. I saw a lot of furniture as I was walking through, and the furniture was covered by this kind of the only way I can describe it is it was like a white knitting material, almost as if someone had knitted something like some kind of fabric and put it over the furniture. And the furniture didn't look like it was new at all. It looked pretty old, I guess. I'm not sure. So as I'm looking at these different things, I'm looking this furniture is in different rooms. I'm touching stuff like the wall and all that stuff just to feel how solid it is. I usually do that just so I know this is really happening. Oh my God, I'm touching stuff. I can feel how solid it is and all that stuff. So I'm walking through, and then so all of the rooms are empty, and then I see one that is not empty. There are people in it. So I stop. Now, again, there's this sense, this feeling that I am walking into someone else's house. So, and that feeling, for those of us who don't go into places and rob places, people that are just, legitimate people that whatever are just walking around, if you were to find yourself in a place and it's not your place, and that those people that live there don't know that you're there, you're going to be thinking, well, they're going to think I'm trying to rob the place or whatever. So that fear comes in, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, if these people see me. So I stopped. It was an older lady, and I think it might have been an older man too. I'm fairly sure about the older lady that I saw, and I think they may have been watching TV. And I was just like, okay, I don't know what this is about. And then I kind of walked along the wall a little bit, and there was a slit, there was a slight opening in the wall that I could see, and I could still see the lady, and I'm sitting there looking through this. Now, this isn't the first time this has happened. I've been able to see through slits and openings in walls and stuff when I go to certain realities, and it's been fairly consistent. I am beginning to believe that the apartment, the setting, and things like that are things for my benefit so that I have some sort of point of reference as a person that's from the 3D world. But I'm beginning to feel that that may not be the way this actually looks. It may look completely different, but that for my benefit, my mind is making it look a certain way so that I understand kind of what's going on. That's what I'm beginning to think. Because again, this has been a consistent thing with these openings and these slits that I've been able to see. And maybe crossing the door or going through the door is like going through a portal of some sort. So that's what I'm thinking. So I continue to look at this, and then I come across another room, and there's another lady, and this person is younger, and she's in a sort of an easy chair, and she looks over and she sees me. And I'm like, oh gosh, okay. So I'm ready to go back. I'm always in my mind thinking to myself, all I have to do is think to myself, I want to go back, and that's it. I can be back in, a split second or whatever. There's no secret word or again, with the shifting thing, everybody thinks you need to have a secret word and all this. I don't need any of that stuff. I just, in my mind, I just want to be back, and I'm back. So I see this lady, she starts to approach me. I think she had brownish hair. She was young. I don't remember so much about how she looked, but when she came up to me, she didn't say, "What are you doing here?" which is what I thought she was going to say. She took me by my hand or my arm or both. This was something that I'm still not clear about, but I know she had a very tight grip when she took my hand, and I was okay with it. I was all right with it. I took her hand too, and I was holding it because I've gotten braver in my old age, so I'm okay. I used to be so scared. If someone would approach me, I'd be like, stay back, because I was scared. But this person was gripping my arm, and they seemed to be asking me about something, like something that had to do with work. Like, can you help me to find a job, or can you help me to find work? And I'm thinking to myself, how would I be able to do that? I don't even know you. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. But as soon as she kind of said that, I'm just like, okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back because there's really nothing I can say. And then I thought it. I was back. It's back in my bed. I opened my eyes and I'm like, wow, okay, very interesting. So that experience was, like I say, it was brief, and it was an interesting experience. I'm hoping to have more, and hoping to share more with you. Anyway, thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. And until next time, take care.